Welcome back to another episode of the 2Ballers podcast. Hey, it's college football season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. College football is finally back. Personally, one of my favorite times of the year. Football coming back, especially college football. Spending my Saturdays in front of the TV the whole day, flipping the channels. And it's going to be another great college football season. Very excited. It kicks off this Saturday in Dublin, Ireland, 12 noon Eastern on ESPN between Iowa State and Kansas State. What a great way to start off the season with a ranked matchup. And we have some great matchups coming up over the next week or so. Including Notre Dame, Miami, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, just to name a few. And so I'm very, very excited to see what happens this college football season. There's a lot of questions that have to be answered. We're going to have some surprise teams. We're going to have some surprise players. And so I'm just ready to jump into, this episode that we got for y'all today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, like he said, this college football season finna be a movie. And I'm gonna say this now. College football is more entertaining than the NFL. I said it. I stand on it. It's finally that time. So we're
Yeah,
gonna break it down. We're gonna start off with our 12 team breakdown for the college football playoff. I know it's early and the college football season hasn't started yet, but we figured as though we might as well give y'all our 12 team breakdown for the college football playoffs this year and the teams that we think are gonna make it and some players to look out for. So hey, Ace 2, let's start it off, my boy.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it. So my teams, I guess in no particular order. We're not going to do the bracket order like I know some the analysts have been doing. We don't have that time, respectfully. Uh, I'm back at school right now, so I haven't had too much time to be creating brackets and the 12 team playoff bracket. But I'm gonna go kind of by conference because I have two conferences that are gonna have I think have gonna have four teams end up making the playoff. So I'm gonna start out with the SEC. So I'm gonna have Texas, Georgia, Alabama, and I think this is the year that LSU makes the college football playoff. I think this is the best defense they're going to have under Brian Kelly. And last year, we all know LSU's defense was just atrocious. They couldn't tackle, they couldn't stop anybody. I mean, they had a great offense, but they could not stop anybody. Ole Miss, Jalen Milroe was running crazy against them last year at LSU, and they've improved that side of the ball, which I think will be pivotal for them to be successful in this season. So those are my four out of the SEC, and then moving on to the Big Ten. I think you're gonna have your regular teams. Oregon's gonna be right there. I think Ohio State's gonna be back in there again. Ohio State has consistently, been in the playoff, been in the playoff picture. Penn State, now that it's 12 teams, they will definitely be in. And then I think a sleeper team that no one is. This is a team that's I guess some people are kind of talking about is I'm going with Illinois. I think the Illinois makes it this year. They had a really strong season last year, beat South Carolina in their bowl game. I think they're gonna continue that momentum into this season. And then also filling out the remaining four slots. Uh, Notre Dame's going to make it again. Marcus Freeman has done a really good job at Notre Dame. They returned Jeremiah Love, the electric running back.
Big
They're
time.
yeah, yeah.
Big
That
time.
CJ Carr, their new starting quarterback, has a lot of weapons. And the things that I've heard coming out of Notre Dame are that this is a really, really good football team. And we'll get the opportunity, like I said earlier, to see them play at Miami the first game of the season. So that should be really exciting to see what the Notre Dame Fighting Irish do. I also got Boise State coming out of the group of five. I think they'll represent the group of five again out of the Mountain West. And then I got Arizona State making it again. I think Kenny Dillingham he did a really good job there and has really built a foundation for Arizona State and kind of put their football program on the map and in the conversation of consistently winning. And then finally, out of the ACC, typical ACC fashion, I think Dabo Sweeney is going to find his way back in. Dabo, he's done a really, really good job there at Clemson. You know, there was a point, like, I think a few years ago where people were like, is Clemson dead? Dabo doesn't know what he's doing. But all Dabo has done is consistently win every single season. So those are my 12 teams, and I'll turn it over to you, Kellen, so you can do yours.
I bet. So I'm not gonna do no order. I'm not gonna go by conference. I'm gonna just name my teams off rip. So I go Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Florida, LSU, Michigan, Miami, and Kansas State. For Alabama, I'm gonna touch on my guy Ryan Williams. We know how much of a breakout year he had last year, especially coming out as a true freshman and the impact he made right away, especially with Jalen Milroe as his quarterback and like the game against Georgia last year, we really got to see him step out and really show the world what he is about. So I'm expecting nothing but great things for him this season. He's gonna have a breakout year. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. Georgia, obviously, they've been dominant over they've been dominant every year. Kirby Smart been down there dominating Oregon with Dan Lanning. I love what they're doing down there, especially with their recruiting class. Like they know how to recruit down there at Oregon. Texas, man, we finally get to see my guy Arch Manning.
Wait,
I'm
you're not, you're claiming Arch Manning. So we're claiming, so just so we can be clear, you're saying Arch Manning is your guy.
Hey man, I'm not gonna say too much, but I'm excited to see what Arch Manning is gonna put on for Texas this year. Obviously, he sat behind Quinn Ewers last year, but now, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like he should have started some games last year because there was a point where Quinn Ewers was struggling in the year, and I feel like Arch Manning could have stepped up and could have been in position to at least get some more reps in. But now he's finally in that starting role, and obviously he's gonna have a lot of expectations coming in. But hey, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what he's gonna bring in. Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith. Oh my gosh, man, killer. He done put on some weight and put on some speed this season, so I know he's in for another breakout year. Penn State, their defense has just always been good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it has. And I'll just say, bringing in new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles over from Ohio State, a really strong defensive coordinator hire. I think he's going to make that defense even better. But we did see at Ohio State, though, that it took time for Jim Knowles and the players to kind of match kind of what the defense was going to be. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Penn State and Jim Knowles defensively. So we might see them struggle in some of the bigger games defensively, which is going to put more on their offense.
all I'm gonna say is my next team. Now I know this. Now I know this might ruffle some feathers, but my next team, the Florida Gators.
They're not making it. They are not making
Hey, let me,
no,
hey,
no, no.
hey. I know they have probably the hardest schedule on paper. I
They do.
know,
They
but,
do.
but, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got, they have DJ Lagway now. He obviously was a freshman last year, played behind Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz struggled, obviously.
Well, Grant Mercy got hurt and DJ Lagway stepped in. So, like,
And
we've
now it's his time to shine. I need. I'm excited for my guy to get some minutes. And Florida's defense obviously improved in the last little bit of the season, which led them to making a bowl game. But I'm hyped for DJ Lagway. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring in for his first year as a hopeful starter. LSU, as H2 touched on, they're in for a big year this year. Michigan, man, Michigan. I feel like they're gonna be one of them sleeper teams. I feel like they might be one of the sleeper teams. They got a new 5-star quarterback, 5-star consensus out of, in high school in Bryce Underwood. Um,
Yeah,
he's
who they threw the bag at. They basically outbidded LSU to get Bryce Underwood to go to Michigan. I mean, he basically just took the money, which I mean, I don't blame him, but like,
hey, if it's for the bag,
yeah,
you might go where the money.
absolutely, absolutely.
Who else? Clemson, obviously. Dabo Sweeney. And I'm gonna speak on someone I know personally. My good friend Avion Terrell going into his junior year, defensive back. He was a dog last year. He got more reps. I think he's in for a breakout year this year. Notre Dame, obviously, we touched on Jeremiah Love. That dude is a stud. Y'all probably seen the tape, seen his highlights, but hey, if you haven't, be ready because he's gonna be on it this year. And then my last team, the Miami Hurricanes. I'm excited to see what Carson Beck is gonna do since transferring from Georgia after declaring from the draft and then withdrawing and then committing to Miami. I'm excited to see how he fills in the steps that Cam Ward left since Cam Ward got drafted #1 to the Titans. Um, I'm excited to see what Carson Beck is going to do. I know Georgia fans aren't happy about that, but you know, it's business. So, that's those are my 12 teams. Kansas State. I mean, they got Dylan Edwards down there, so transfer from Colorado. So he's definitely in for a breakout year for sure. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan Edwards, electric running back. In his second year at Kansas State, he already emerged. He had a good year last season. I think he's gonna even build off that this season for sure.
Are there any players you looking at Ace too, especially to have a breakout year?
Yes, actually I am. But I want to go back to a point you made earlier about Carson Beck. Like this is really, I feel like for Carson Beck, kind of like a reshaping the narrative year for him. Like towards the end of that Georgia season, like people were just down on Carson Beck. Like there's no other way to put it.
Oh
Like
shit.
Georgia fans were mad at him. I think the entire country was looking at him like, wait, like this isn't the Carson Beck that we expected. And now he has the opportunity to really show who he is and potentially even make himself a high draft pick. Like we saw what they did with Cam Ward. They turned him into the first overall pick. I'm not saying like Carson Beck doesn't have the talent that Cam Ward does, but I think Miami can still potentially make Carson Beck into a high draft pick. And so I think that should be really interesting to see how that turns out. But there are some players that I want to talk about. And first, I'm going to stick with the quarterbacks, and I'm going to go to someone who we only saw a glimpse of their potential last season, and that's Lenore Sellers from South Carolina.
Big time. He was one of my sleeper quarterbacks coming in. Hey, I gotta ooh,
Yeah,
keep your eyes out.
big big quarterback has really good speed, who can really throw it too. And I think with a full season, I think he very well could win the Heisman.
Bold. But hey, I agree. I feel like he's in that conversation.
Yeah, I think he legitimately could win the Heisman this year. And if he has a Heisman year, we're looking at South Carolina probably being in the playoff because that means they probably have won 11, at least 11 games. Not saying they're going to be in the SEC championship because, as we know, the SEC is a gauntlet. But you got an 11 win South Carolina team, they're going to be in the playoff. They're taking someone's spot. And, Lenore Sellers is someone that caught the country's eyes last season, but I think this year it's going to be on a whole nother level. And then for one of my other playoff teams, the running back who doesn't get enough attention from Notre Dame, Anais Williams. He's actually their third string running back, but he had one of the biggest catches probably in the college football playoffs last season against Penn State. And one thing about him that Marcus Freeman has said was that he's always stayed ready. He's always been ready for his moment, and it showed in that game. Like he hadn't had that many touches in the Penn State game. In the college football semifinals, comes in and makes a huge catch. And you know, we talked about Jeremiah Love. He's also struggled with injuries, and so that's going to give a chance, you know, for Nyes Williams to get some more reps potentially. And then I'm going to go defense because we've talked a lot offense. I'm going to go to someone from that electric Georgia defense. We all know Kirby Smart's on that defense every season. Like,
And we know how good they are because they've shown it consistently every single year.
yeah, like if you guys watch Georgia and Georgia's on defense, Kirby Smart's gonna be on like he's gonna be almost on the grass coaching those guys up. He is when the defense is on the field, he's like a different coach. But Alice Robinson the fourth, he only played in 4 games as a cornerback last season, and this year, you know, they're saying in camp that he's really kind of seen his potential, and that's what Kirby Smart does, I think, better than probably any coach, probably, especially on the defensive side of things, is he gets a young guy, he lets them play, develops them, and then but when they come back the following season, they're like a completely different player.
And you see why they're ranked as high as they are. Is partly because of their defense.
Yeah, like you can always count on that Georgia defense to be really, really good. And the thing for Georgia is going to be with Gunnar Stockton, even though they haven't officially named him the starting quarterback yet, he probably is going to be the starting quarterback. But, you know, the thing is, can the offense match the defense? Because when the offense matched the defense, Georgia won back-to-back national championships with Stetson Bennett. And I think Kirby Smart is he's going for that national title. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, he wants it. He wants it.
It's been 2 years since Georgia won a national championship. They haven't even been in the game, and so a motivated Kirby Smart is not somebody who I want to face at all this season. And you know, I think another school who we're looking at, like, okay, they need to, I think, not only make the playoff but make a deep run is Alabama, because the last time they made a deep run in the playoffs was, I think, was it 2024, which crazy enough feels like a long time ago. But for Alabama fans, the expectation is we're in the national championship game every season, and so I think Kalen DeBoer has some pressure on him too, especially after how last season ended.
Oh yeah, that ooh.
I mean, losing to Michigan in the bowl game,
Ooh.
some of the losses you lose to Vanderbilt, like though some of those losses, like the pressure is on, especially when you're replacing the GOAT and Nick Saban.
You know how big shoes you have to fill?
Yeah,
Like, this is Nick Saban we talk about. When Nick Saban was in his prime, he was winning championships. And now they have Kalen DeBoer. Obviously, they got a lot of great talent over there. Ryan Williams, killer. I feel like he's definitely in the running, definitely in the conversation for maybe to be in the Heisman. I feel like that's bold, but hey, I feel like he's shown me everything I've seen on tape from his highlights, from just how good of a receiver he really is. He came in as a true freshman, really held his own. The sky's the limit.
yeah, absolutely. I think the Alabama offense too. I think is going to be really, really good this season. Kalen DeBoer is back with Ryan Grubb, who originally was at Alabama when Kalen DeBoer took the job, but then went to the Seattle Seahawks to become their offensive coordinator. That didn't go so well, so now he's back with Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. And I also think their new starting quarterback, Ty Simpson, I think fits more of Kalen DeBoer's system than I think Jalen Milrow. Like, don't get me wrong, Jalen Milrow is a really good quarterback, but they were trying to think fit calling plays to Jalen Milrow's style of play, more of a running quarterback, throwing it deep. versus I think with Ty Simpson, he's kind of more of the traditional quarterback, kind of in the pocket, can scramble when he can. And we kind of saw that. I feel like Michael Penix was kind of like that way too. Like Michael Penix, he would run when he had to, but for the most part, he was throwing the ball far. That beautiful lefty throw. That's all we got for you guys today. College football is back. Watching the TV the whole day and through the night. It's going to be a great college football season.
Amen. Like H2 said, it's going to be a movie this year. College football is back. It's that time. Get your popcorn ready because it's about to go down. But hey, this has been episode 4 of the 2Ballers podcast featuring me and my boy H2, and we out.
We out.
Peace.